Hello, Lifestyle Academy families. I just wanted to send a very important major update concerning a concern that came up, and I really appreciate the feedback I received. Thank you for your concern. To the parent who shared the concern. The first thing I want to remind everyone again is I am very sorry for the 7th to 12th graders. I was compiling some of the report card details from the different teachers from like music and French. They had those grades, but I wanted to integrate all that and send a final report card for everyone. So I owe you guys that, and you'll be getting that. So that's that. Number two, one of the reasons we didn't have as many tests, we had some tests, but there was not as many tests, is partly because we were trying to work on building the study skills for taking the test. All that said, here is the update for the fall. This has already been in the works, and I just want people to know all the subjects at LifeSTEM Academy now, all the core subjects are going to be graded, and everybody's going to receive grades. Whether you're 2-day or 5-day, you're going to receive grades. If you're 2-day, if you're homeschooled, your parents have the right to override anything because they're the head teachers, right? So we will still give the grades though based on what we are teaching, right? So for example, expect quizzes on Thursday on the concepts that you've learned through the week. When you take the quiz, there's a grade. I have somebody who's doing all the grading for me, but then I also have someone who's stepping in the role of checking in on the grades for parents. So for example, if you ask Jolene, Mrs. Koth or Mrs. Hovland, if you say, hey, please, where can I find grades for A, B, C, D? They'll be able to direct you accordingly. So I'm sorry that last year you guys didn't see as many of those, but let me actually mention one more thing. I logged into QuickBooks the other day, or Quick School, sorry, and I noticed some families actually never accepted the invitation to see the grades. So there are grades in Quick Schools, that like a report card right there. But I think there's a lot of families that haven't signed up there. So here's what we're going to do at the back to school night on August 10th at between 6 and 7:30. I'm going to have Mr. Fossum set up laptops ready to go, or Chromebooks. And I want to please plead with every family to make sure that you're signed up to Quick Schools, that you've chosen the classes you need to take, that you're good to go, and then you check your grades every Friday. Expect that you are, depending on what class we're talking about, so you could check with your English teacher on what day they'll release it. But for my classes, you can expect math and science related classes on Friday. Check the grade, you see the work. For the math curriculum we've put together, and I understand that different families have used different ones in the past, it is actually very similar to teaching textbooks in the sense that you log in the lesson for the first set of lessons, for example, for our 7th graders or those in pre-algebra. The first set of lessons are reviewing your addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So you will have the module, you will have actual paper books, but you also have the PDF. You can use either. You have the module, you log in, you complete the assignment. It will grade it immediately and give you feedback. It'll tell you if you're right or wrong, and then ask if you want a new problem. And it will keep generating new problems for you. And when you get it right, if you don't get it right, there's videos for you. It'll give you, we have like a ton of videos for each concept. They're all ready for you. And we're going to take our time to digest each module. There's no rushing through the 7 modules of pre-algebra. You can take your time and digest the module. And here's a practice problem. You get it wrong. Here's another practice problem. Here's a video. Here's an example. That's how the curriculum is laid out in the program. And I'll make a video showing you a sample from my Zoom. So I'm going to send you a screenshot of that. If you've used any math curriculum that gives immediate feedback, this is very similar to it. You're going to get immediate feedback. And then it goes into the grade book. It goes right into the grade book. So parents will see all their grades for math. They'll see all their grades for quizzes in science, and exams come at certain intervals. And everybody will know way ahead of time because I'm making the syllabus for the whole year. So everybody will know I have an exam on October 30th, for example, so I should study, which leads to another big update. We have a textbook that is called College Success that we're going to use as a resource. It is written for college students who are trying to build study skills in their freshman year of college, especially. We are bringing that book down to middle school. We're bringing it down to elementary school level to help teach people things like time management. Here's a grid. Here's how to budget my time. There's a time to study and there's a time to play. So every student at LifeSTEM Academy will get a portal where the videos we make for study skills will be housed. We want to encourage them to go through every single one of those topics to make sure they're comfortable with how to take notes. They're comfortable with how to study for tests. How do you study for math tests versus studying for biology tests? the skills are different because one of them is memorization based and the other one is calculation based. So let's talk about how to study for every single subject. You will have exams. You will have opportunities to ask questions, of course. We'll have office hours with Nathan, our math instructor, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Fridays and 1 to 4 also on Fridays. So you can go on Zoom, ask any questions. After school, all tutoring is free to Lifestem Academy students. You're welcome to stay and get tutored. And our tutoring center is actually going to be open from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We have some tutors that will be starting in August with us, and then we'll add tutors as we need to. We're training them and adding them as we need to. So this is a new year. I'm excited for what's to come, but I really appreciate the feedback. I just wanted to put this out there because it's a very different story this year because we have the capacity, right? By God's grace, we have about 19 staff members at this point with about 10 adjunct professors and volunteers. So you have 19 people that are going to try and run the ship. And some of them, part of their role is just grading. And some of them, part of a big part of their role is just grading. And then part of the role of the other person I talked about earlier is to talk about grades and making sure all the teachers have all their grades in on time so that parents can log in and see their grades. That's the new dawn. We're going to have parent-teacher conference in October. We're going to have parent-teacher conference again later in the year. So these are things that you should plan to have. Parent-teacher conference, parent-teacher interaction, very important. So we're going to have a parent-teacher conference in October, as I mentioned as well. So please, parents, come with questions. Let's talk if you have any questions. Look through what I've sent, if as far as the math assessment. The module is going to look very similar to what a lot of you have used before. The difference now is that we get to decide what videos we want to add. We get to decide how the gradebook looks like and how to integrate it with the overall grades. We have a lot of autonomy with it. We're excited to help families flourish in all subjects. So expect your report cards still, 7th to 12th graders. Expect those report cards over the next couple of weeks. I know it's very late, and I'm sorry, in the future we'll have that system built. You should be able to get those report cards first thing in June. But then as far as going into the fall, let's expect our weekly quizzes. Some of these quizzes are really small quizzes. We're teaching them how to take tests. Expect your homework to be graded immediately. If you're entering it online, your homework is graded immediately. You're going to get feedback immediately. This is a program that we've built, but we've used for years. Now we've just deployed it for Lifestem Academy. Nathan just said, and I are the ones who kind of crafted it. He did a lot of the technical side. I did a lot of the sort of the front end work of what needs to be taught when. So it's going to be exciting. We're deploying it for the whole country. So imagine if we're doing it for the whole country, it needs to be very user friendly. So it's something you can give us feedback and we'll keep adjusting as we need to. Computer science is also going to be integrated with our math. I know on Wednesdays we have a dedicated hour to computer science, but even on Monday, Thursday, and the Tuesday, Friday, expect that your students are going to learn different skills to use a computer properly and also computer etiquette. We don't want young people using the computers getting themselves into trouble in what they're looking at. So we're making sure we're teaching them etiquette and then communicating with parents. For some students, computers might not even be a good idea at all. That's why we have paper copies of all our textbooks in addition to the online version. So that's a lot to share. I just really wanted to apologize for the delay on the testing and the report cards. I want to apologize for that delay. I still owe you guys that. I sent a sample last week just to show you what everyone's would look like. Now I'm going to go back and send each person's report card. I'm also making I did this with one student already. Some of you will actually receive a video report card with feedback about the details. As far as how grades are treated, let me just mention this. There are two ways that grades are given out in society today. I don't like one of them, but we've used some of that for the first year, which is simply a grade based on completion. So for example, hey, I was assigned to write the 20 the elements of the periodic table. I did it. I completed the task. Check. Done. So for the first year, I was really just working on trying to get kids to just complete the task. The second year is the accuracy grading. How accurate is everything you've done? Now, we did that for our math too with accuracy. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is we're going to do that with more things, with the English, with the math, and expect that, okay? But the completion model is not ideal. It doesn't give us much information. But if you haven't taught people, if people haven't learned how to study, then what happens is that some of them feel, they almost feel overwhelmed and it's like, I can't do this because I don't know how to take a test. And that's where we should have invested more time in that. So sorry, this video went longer than it should have. I just wanted to say, so as a parent, If you are asking what grade should I give for a specific subject, if the child completed the tasks, if they read the specific chapters, that is worth the grade that you can decide. I mean, it's like, did they read all 22 chapters? They did. That's completion right there. Because in a grade book, you have tests, but you also have homework, and you decide what weight do you want to give to tests versus homework. You ultimately decide that, and that's not something that is standard in any way. It's determined by the parents or something with the teachers. Next week, Thursday, God willing, every parent will receive an expectations document where they tell us, what do you want from us and how can we provide that to you? We're going to sign a document where you tell us what you want. So for example, we want grades. Everybody's getting grades. That's now a fact. That's now basic at Lifestem Academy. We have hired people that can help with all of that more. Number 2, we're going to have a student's expectation document. What should students expect in terms of behavior? Like, here's how to behave. Here's our policy on technology. Here's our policy on dress code. Here are the different pieces. And we want students to read through, understand what is expected of them. We will be implementing and enforcing these principles much better. I'm excited to help everyone flourish, every one of our students, but we want to have that clearly stated. So next Thursday, there'll be a lot of clearly stated documents that you will have. I will introduce you to the staff members that we have. You will know who to talk to depending on what you have questions on. You will know how to access quick schools so you can see your child's grades. You will get all of that information. And for those of you who haven't signed up for Quick Schools, again, please let us know if you need us to send you the link. But the grades for a lot of students, from what I saw when I last logged in, they're there, but there's families who never signed up. So that's something to the communication there was a gap, and I apologize. We will get our Chromebooks ready for you, fired up, so that you can actually sign up right there and begin to play with Quick Schools. Sorry this went too long. Thank you for your time and for your attention. This will be a great year by God's grace. I'm looking forward to being full-time now at Lifestem Academy. Let's press forward, and if you have any other questions, let me know. Look out for those report cards in your email for each family, and you take care, please. Have a blessed weekend, and look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Take care.